Hello, and thank you for joining me on another episode of the Tech Exec podcast, where we triple your impact per engineer. As always, I'm your host, Aviv Ben-Yosef, advisor and consultant to tech execs worldwide, and the subject today is communicating expectations. I'll start with an example that I'm guessing many of you have had it occur to you in the past, and that is when you are planning a trip, be it with family or friends, one of the things that are most critical is to make sure that everyone is on the same page. If you've ever gone on a trip abroad with a couple of friends and you, for example, prefer the more laid back type of traveling, while they are more on the have to see everything, check every box, taste everything, whatever, maximize every minute camp, I'm promising you're not going to have a good time, you as a whole, because you are incompatible in your expectations. And similar things also happen, for example, when I'm planning a family trip. When we're inviting our parents to join a trip with our kids, we communicate about what type of activities we're probably going to be doing. Because I don't want my parents or my brother, for example, who's single, to later be disappointed because we have to accommodate for traveling with a bunch of young children. And this sort of communicating your expectations thing is an incredibly valuable tool to have in your toolkit, because this is something that can save you and other people a whole lot of grief and wasted time. For example, this is the type of thing that I always ask when I help clients interview for executive positions. I ask them, how would an ideal day look like for them, or an ideal week? We are communicating our expectations about how they like to work, because some types of executives aren't compatible with specific companies. That doesn't mean that what they have in mind is wrong, just incompatible. Or I communicate the company's expectations about having a tech executive who is part of board meetings, who actually understands the business, and not someone who's interested in just focusing on the tech part of the company and that's it. Communicating these expectations can really save you a whole bunch of time. Do that as an interviewee or as an interviewer. Further, if you have any change management going on, maybe you have a reorg, maybe people are fearing what's going to happen, are you going to have layoffs this year or something like that, and you need to communicate what's going on. If you communicate the expectations, you can really help people realize what's going on and help them relax. Or if they realize that things are not what they would like, help them realize it sooner. Because I really believe that having people stay on for longer by basically tricking them or manipulating them is not something healthy, and you're going to regret it anyway. So for example, you can communicate your expectations about how growth in the company is going to look like. If people are expecting to be part of a team that's still on hypergrowth, that means that they will become managers within 6 months, as they have been used to seeing people promote really, really rapidly because of rapid growth. They need to understand that things have changed. Communicating that helps everyone set their expectations rather than thinking things to themselves and not knowing whether they are correct, and getting angry because, hey, why isn't it happening? How long more am I going to wait? And sometimes people only speak up at the point where it's too late for them, because they've waited so long that once they realize their reality, they're no longer willing to wait, and they feel like they've had enough. Some of them, of course, might just leave without even telling you before that they have accumulated this resentment or have waited so long. Bottom line, talking about our expectations and learning how to ask people about their expectations is something that I think is incredibly important, especially if you are one of those executives who feel like your EQ needs a slight upgrade. I'm not talking about all of a sudden reading all the cues, being able to realize what other people are thinking. I'm talking about a very specific type of question that you can ask them and help you gain a lot more clarity about their thinking. And now I'm expecting you to sign up to my newsletter, which is the best newsletter online for tech executives, and check out my exclusive community for executives in tech. We already have more than 90 people, I think, worldwide, and it's free but invite only, so you can apply in the link in the show notes. That's it for this week. Thank you. Talk soon.